When I was researching for today, I wanted to tell the stories of some powerful white allies in history, and I came across the story of one who exhibits that first principle of being brave. Her name was Juliette Morgan, and she came from a wealthy, aristocratic family in Alabama. And just to show you how God works in such mysterious ways, it just so happened that Juliette also had anxiety. She would get nervous in situations, and as such, she didn't like cars. She wouldn't drive one. She didn't want to ride in one. So instead, she rode the bus in Montgomery, Alabama. And I bet you know what happened then. She got to see how Black people were mistreated on the bus. She got to see firsthand how sometimes a Black person would get in the front of the bus to pay their fare because that's where you had to pay. And then they get off so they could walk to the back because that's where they had to enter. And the bus driver would drive off before they could get back on, even after they paid their fare. And she saw this and she did what I'm asking you to do. She pulled the emergency cord. She said, "Oh no, not on my watch." She ran up to the front of the bus and said, "Stop." And every time she saw one of those injustices, she pulled the emergency cord. This is what real spiritual allies do. They stop the bus. And she was not liked for this. She was attacked. The teenage boys made fun of her. They tried to get her fired from her job at the library. Even her own mother stopped talking to her and said she was embarrassing the family. This is what I'm trying to tell you. It's not going to be easy. It's never been easy for us. Why did you think it was going to be easy for you? We want to be one. This is what one looks like. It means walking together through the hard parts. And it got hard for Juliette. And she called out the fact that she felt so alone. She saw another white man write an article in a newspaper, and she wrote to him. She said, "I'm so grateful that I found somebody else who would speak up, because I believe that it is our biggest problem is overcoming the fear of decent white people." See, she held on to the idea. She knew there were people in her community that she referred to as decent white people, but she knew they were afraid to speak up. But she spoke up anyway, even when she was the only one, and she paid the cost. She paid the cost so that she was so despondent and so depressed about feeling alone and attacked that she took her own life. What could have been different for Juliette if she had a community of support, if she wasn't the one and only walking the hard road, if somebody else started pulling the emergency cord with her? But I want to tell you that Juliette's life was not in vain. In her last article that she wrote to the newspaper, she said, "I have so much respect for these folks in this boycott. They remind me of the movement of Gandhi." And Dr. King later wrote that it was because of her article that she published in the paper that when they were boycotting, the whole community knew the name of Mahatma Gandhi, right? Little things mean a lot. And I want to tell you that this librarian who was harassed and threatened to the degree that she took her own life, the public library in Montgomery is named after her. See, if we're going to take down these monuments, we need to put up some new ones. We need to know the name of Juliette Morgan and more like her. Because what we are asking for is not new. It was done by the abolitionists. It was done throughout history by the people who spoke out against slavery since its very inception, like Emerson. There were people who were always calling it out, and although they were few and far between, they were real, and we ought to know their names.